All right, guys, good morning. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So we are hiking in on our camp out trip. Yes, got a lot of gear with me. I know. I didn't weigh it. It weighs a lot, I can tell you that much. So why so much gear? Well, I did decide to truck in some water, although we do have our water filters. I do have our camera equipment that is in this pack. I was going to carry a separate bag for the camera equipment, and I just decided it just wouldn't work. Trying to tote another heavy gear bag in one arm while I'm traveling, it's just not a good idea. One pack is good enough. So, slide through here. I did make some alterations to the pack. I did decide to bring another tarp with me. I've got thunderstorms coming in tomorrow, I believe it is. Spotty rain throughout the entire time I'm out here. It is what it is. It's Florida. It's just that season. So we added an extra tarp. I've got another battery bank charger for the cameras. But all in all, so guys, I'm not going to sit there and bore you while I'm just walking the same path. We're going to truck in and we're going to get camp set up, and then this weekend let me get hung up in spiders. Didn't even see that. I was focusing on the camera and not the trail. Something you don't want to do. We'll be able to go over some survival skills, guys. All right, guys, so we are taking a waypoint break. I was last here. It's that water spot that I filmed at before. I have noticed the creek level has dropped dramatically. All right, guys, so that is the cliff I was talking about, setting up camp on the other side. Not gonna happen. I'm not gonna keep climbing that up and down to get water. We're actually going to stash our gear in a secret location. I'm gonna go ahead and scout ahead for a better camp spot. We do have that one that we can always set up at. I decided to look for a little bit better spot. But yeah, all this was flooded last time we were here, so I didn't see all that down in there. Now this is all clay. It's not rock, this is clay. So yes, that is slippery. That might be rock over there, but all this back over here, that's all clay. So it's pretty slick in there. Whew. I didn't bother checking what the humidity was today. It's hot, real hot. So we have left our waypoint, guys. Like I said, I did scout out a campsite. I've noticed a lot more tracks on the trail. So since I know that the trail up ahead is in really bad condition, bridges are broke, things like that, we're gonna head up that way just to put some distance in between passerbyers. There's a creek down below. There's a lot of timber down in there. That hurricane really tore up some stuff. So anyway, like I'm saying, we're gonna try to put some distance between us and people that might stumble upon us. Once I find a good spot off trail, Then we'll shoot off deeper into the woods and we will set up camp. Switch hands here. It is currently 9:35. So I've only been going for about an hour. Now. And the reason why is because I got to stop and do things with the camera. So I actually got on the trail by 8 o'clock. So let's keep on going. I got 10:20. Almost 2.5 hours hiking with a heavy pack. I'm beat. I am taking a break. I dropped the gear over there. It's hot, it's humid. What makes it worse is I can hear the river right down there. It's only about 40 foot down below where I'm at. And there's just no way going in and coming back out. So I'm gonna try, keep on going until I find a good clearing. I thought about doing a little trailblazing, but the fact is I don't have easy access to the water here. So the next spot I come across has easy access, I'll be trailblazing. I'm sweating so much, my walking stick hand is all wilted up. That's just from holding that walking stick. Ooh, it's a little sore. All right, let's get back on the trail. Uh-oh. We've exceeded our pack weight. Actually, I think something caught right in my backpack when I was stooping underneath a set of trees and I got ripped open. We have found a camp spot. We are 5 minutes to 11. 3 hours walking. The river's down there. It's a long drop. There's a path going down close to the river. I'm actually going to rig up some type of rope ladder or something like that to actually have access to it. This isn't a bad spot out here. There's some areas there. So this is going to be camp. So I'm going to take a break. All right, guys. So we have base camp halfway set up. I still got to tighten down the tarp, get that situated. I just want to get something up in the air first off the bat. I'm tired. Second, water. We got to start filtering out water. So I'm filling up creek water in this, putting in our 1 gallon Sawyer over here for the camp. With that, I'm going to fill up that 2 liter, my other 20 ounce, and my 2 quart. Make sure we have water on hand at all times. And then we've got to work on getting all that situated. So let's go down to the creek. All right, so unfortunately everything is an embankment out here. Luckily, this one here's not that bad to get to. Not too bad anyway. All right, I am probably going to clear out some of these tall grasses later today, just so I can see what's around me. So we've got access to the creek. All right. Ooh, yummy. All right, so I'll shoot back up here and go up the embankment. Without busting my ass. Whew. All right. All right, guys, so we do have our nasty creek water here. Like I said, I've just been filling this thing up. With our creek water. Alright. Now I'm keeping this over here on this side. I know not to drink out of that because that has been contaminated with the creek water. But we will start filtering out our drinking water right here. You don't want to put your drinking water in this, since you just filled it up with contaminated water. You want to use clean bottles to fill up. Now if you have a way of washing this out, yeah, maybe. That's why I keep extra bottles. So, let's get a 2 liter. We'll go ahead and fill this one up first. And it does take a while to fill these things up, guys. Alright, we got our flow going correctly. I noticed that since I started doing the water here, we just got a lot of ants coming out from underneath these leaves. Alright, I'm stopping this now. We're going to take a look at this. Does not look much better than what was put on the inside. It actually looks almost identical. So, we're not drinking this. I'm going to get my Sawyer Mini out. Alright guys, so that is what we filter out using the Camp Sawyer Mini. I think that was like almost 50 bucks for that thing. I'm not impressed. Now, let's go with our standard Sawyer Mini here, guys. See what we can do. This does take a lot longer to filter out this way. Now the water could just be full of tannins. I mean, you see how black the creek is? It's still showing almost the same coloring. So it's just not getting the coloring out. These Sawyer Minis are supposed to take out like 99.99% bacteria. Let's stop there. Same coloring. So it looks like we're not going to be able to get any of the coloring out. Smells alright. Tastes alright. Now, the question is, do you drink it like it is? I'm funny about water, guys. I'm really not happy with the Sawyer Mini filtration on this. It didn't take the coloring out of the creek water. Best thing to do, boil it. Let it cool down. Now I do have some treatment tablets with us too. So what we're going to do, we are going to fill up and we're going to treat it with treatment tablets, and this evening we're going to boil up some water. Alright guys, so we got a 2-liter. It did go through the Camp Sawyer filter. As you can see, the coloring is still dark. It is probably okay to drink like that, but I am not taking any chances. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our water tablets. There's 2 in here. 1 tablet treats 2 liters. So we're going with 2 because it's a 2-liter. So we will open this up, drop it in to go ahead and treat the water. I'm funny about water, guys. I do not like taking chances. I have been sick off of bad water, so we're not going through that again. Alright, and we'll let that do its magic. I am leaving the cap off just to make sure no carbonization or anything like that blows out the top. It might be alright to seal it, maybe stir it around a little bit, shake it up, I mean. So there are still some working in there. Alright guys, so got our water treated, well, treating. It's noon. I gotta wait 4 hours for this to be treated. So thankfully I still got 2 quarts of water. Alright, I'm gonna go take a break. Actually, I gotta dig a latrine. Alright guys, so it is getting to be evening. It's about 6:30 now. So rain catches in place. Coffee. Tent's up. I'm messing around the camp. I've got 2 gallons. I've got 1 gallon of water filtered. I've got another gallon of water on standby. That's filtered and treated. We already had an explanation on our live stream about why we're treating the water. So, latrine is dug. Breaking up firewood right now. I'll tell you what, I'm beat. At 3 hours for that gear, I'm just out of shape. A younger man, when I was in better shape, probably still would have kicked my butt. But, oh, that's good. That's just instant coffee, guys. Folders, but instant. So, what else we got going on in here? Alright guys, we're taking a little walk. I'm going to show y'all what I get to sit down at and stare at in the afternoons. And also in the morning, hopefully tomorrow, as long as I don't get rained out. Had to go down this little hill here. Jumping up a snake. Alright, here we go. It's a nice little stand there. Check that out. It's not too far from camp. I actually go down there to get my water, but I got a path going the other way around. Now, I will tell you this much. I am enjoying myself a great deal. I needed a break. A lot of people go vacation at different places, you know, go to casinos, amusement park, the beach. I know my wife, for one, she actually finds a lot of relaxation there at the beach. That's her ideal place. Mine is the woods, preferably with a creek or river. There's been many times I've had a pond, well, it looks like a depression with water that's just built up, and I've done it without water, which really sucks. But having this creek is nice. Tomorrow, as long as the weather's permitting, we're getting in that creek. One, I need to take a shower. All right, I already filled this thing up with water and rinsed off, and you know, a couple times, of course. But yeah, I need to get down in there. Now, let me switch the camera around. Now, there's a lot of shallow down there, except down there in the corner left. That's a stagnant. There's not much current going through there. I'm believing that is probably pretty deep. I think there's a secondary tributary feeding into there. But I think it's real slow water that's going that way. So I'm staying out of that section. Odds are, on the other side that's down trees, I have access to. I'm going to go out that way. It's shallow. I can mess around out there. I don't want to get onto anything around those trees down there, because water moccasins love stuff like that. I wish I had access down there. Maybe we'll find a way. I will tell you this much. These embankments, they are a real mother. Alright. Most of them's washed out from the bottom. So if you do get down, you're not getting back up. So, something to think about. Okay. Ow. That limb just stabbed me right in the gut. Still got my coffee though. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna cook me up some dinner. I'm thinking maybe the chili mac that is provided by Mountain House. Give that a shot. See how tasty that one is. Odds are it's pretty good. Mountain House, I mean, it tastes okay. I have no complaints. But I gotta finish getting everything ready for tonight, guys, because I can tell you right now, I'm gonna be sleeping hard. Alright guys, I just want y'all to listen. So peaceful out here. It's 82 degrees, but yes, I had a campfire. Couldn't help myself. Last 2 times I went camping, I had to run a cold camp. This is the first time in years I got to have an actual campfire. It's not going to burn all night. It's more a principle than anything else. Alright guys, so let's go over some basics on your fire building. Alright, so this is not enough wood to make it through the night, obviously. But one of the first things we want to discuss is creating a bird nest. This is your starting point, okay? This is leaves, pine needles, very fine twigs, things like that. Now you want a large bundle of this. Of course, when you make your fire pit, that will go in the center of everything. It's just sand right here. We're not striking this right now. It is daytime. I will be starting the fire tonight. Right now, though, my coal pit, which is over there, is still very hot, so I can't put this over there just yet. Now, the easiest way to create your bird nest, you see how I got this branch here? It's got all this stuff up top here, all this fine stuff. Easiest thing to do is break it off up top. Take it, crumble it together, just like that. All right. That's how you get your bird nest started. The next bit of stuff that you will be using is a little bit slider size bigger, a little bit bigger in size. Start adding that to your pile. All right, that's a good starting point right there. All right, now when you start your spark, I would remove all this. I would start right here in your bird nest. Your leaves, your real fine tinder. That's where I'll start my spark. As soon as that flame catches and starts building up, then I'll start adding this to it. Once I know this is starting to catch. Sorry guys, we had a camera failure. All right, so like I said, we'll add this to it once the fire starts. and then we'll go up to the next size, which are twigs about this size here, guys. I mean, it's really not that large. Now these are real dry, okay? So these that broke up. This is dead wood. It will catch up very quick. Once those start to burn into place, we have a next stack, which is slightly larger. Now this stack here actually needs to be a larger stack, because you want to start building up a coal bed on top of this long before you start over here on things like this. All right, and then eventually you work your way up to larger logs, you know, parts of trees. But yeah, tonight we'll go ahead and get started, and I will show y'all an easy way. I'm not going to sit there and say it's the correct way, the wrong way, or anything like that. If you can get a fire going in a survival situation, hey, good job. But this is one of the easiest methods, so luckily we have the ability to show y'all. So anyway, guys, who remember these? If you're right, though, it's not all dolled up. Those are my fire starting kits. Back, I believe it was right before December of last year, started producing these, and Ryan over there at Prescott Caliber Club has been selling these for me. So we keep these in our bug out gear. This one here is altered slightly, mainly because there's no special packaging as far as the labels and all that good stuff on there. So we're going to be using this to start our fire. But before we do, let's go over just the basics right fast. Alright guys, so we've got our magnesium. Let's set that just like that there. Alright, I'm going to strike. Okay. Now we've got our bird's nest burning. Now that is just pine needles and leaves, okay? I'm going to let this burn out, and we're going to bring the kit in. Alright guys, so we have our kit here. Now this is the petroleum jelly. This is the methanol ethanol packets, which is basically sterno. Of course, my kit, personal kit, has a lot more bells and whistles than the one that we normally sell. Vaseline, petroleum jelly pads, matches, magnesium fire starter. This is what I'm looking for right here. This is our tinder. And no, I don't mean online. I mean, this is our, oops. I'm going to sharpen that. This is our pine tinder, okay? This is what we're using instead of leaves. Alright, now I'll go ahead and get this ready. Now, even just using that, we don't even have to use any of this methanol ethanol. We don't even have to use the Vaseline pads. This petroleum jelly pads, they burn a good while. I do like having these, because you can start a fire and they still burn a great while. But we're just going to go strike this off with the fire starter and get this fire started. Alright guys, while this is starting here, let's go ahead and start moving in some of our larger sticks. These are not very large sticks actually, these are kind of small. Try not to burn my fingers. Alright. That should get going pretty good. Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and we are at camp. This is the day 2. So yesterday we just came out here, got set up, just base camp here. Today we are going to be working on some survival skills. First things first, coffee. Breakfast. This is biscuit and gravy. I like these. These are actually pretty good. So I got to cook up some breakfast right fast, which consists of boiling water. Not hard. Now, along with our survival skills that we're going to be going over today, I'm actually going to be cleaning up this campsite. This is an existing campsite, what I came across here, because I did find a fire pit, which is just dug out with coals still sitting in it. And since this is the existing campsite, we're going to improve it a little bit. There's a lot of down branches, down trees over here. That's what we used for firewood last night. So I'm going to finish collecting all of that stuff up out here, break it down, get it ready for fire tonight. That way I can kind of clean up the grounds over here, and being able to leave a campsite improved than where I found it. I take enjoyment out of that. So that way next time somebody comes bebopping up the trail and they decide that this looks like a good spot to rest, they've got a clean campsite. And yeah, it was actually pretty nice last night. The only thing I heard was the bullfrogs and crickets all night. I think cicadas were making a lot of racket. But you can hear the creek from where we're at, which I don't like being that close to water when I'm camping. I've already discussed that. Unfortunately, this is the only flat ground around. Now, I am real high up above the river, so there's a huge drop off down there, and it's hard getting to the river. But animals have no problem going up and down hills. But the only tracks I've seen next to the river down here is raccoons. So, not too bad. I will say something interesting. This morning at 7 a.m., I was hearing voices. Not up here. People were already on the trail. Now, it took me 3 hours to get here yesterday, and only stopped for breaks long enough to drop the pack, drink some water, maybe 5 minutes, and start at it again. So that's telling me that they had to start, if it took them 3 hours, at 4 a.m. Odds are, since I couldn't see them, they had no packs. They were just walking the trails. I hate to think it took me that much longer with a pack on. than if I didn't have a pack. Something to think about, because I don't think they're out here walking these trails in the dark. These trails are hard enough. Alright guys, let me have breakfast and we'll get started on some things. So yeah guys, I am tired. Only because of the walk-in. That's what's really kicked my butt. Ow, sorry about that. It was just a harder hump than I thought it was. I still had my gear packed out heavy. I talked to the wife last night on the cell phone. Told her about it. She says, well, you pack your gear like you did before you got hurt. You pack your gear like you did before, you know, you started gaining a little bit of a married belly. Yeah. So this here was actually a very great test. I needed to go camping anyway, but this here got me to really look at my gear. I will be getting a different bug out bag. This one here has worked very well for years. The tear, I can put a patch, but it looks like the fabric itself is starting to dry rot on me. So, may as well replace it while I can. I might get up with my buddy Ryan over the Prescott Caliber Club and see about what type of deal he has going on. Usually, he always hooks me up with really good prices, usually at cost, mainly because we're really good friends. So I'm probably just going to go through him. Okay guys, so I am in the creek, trying to keep an eye on some of these spots out here because it is dark and shadowy that way, and like I said, there are gators here. Now I do want to go over a couple things. First thing I want to do is run a Trotline. Alright, now I cannot leave this Trotline in position. This is for educational purposes only, because they are illegal. Okay, so we will be making one of these. Sorry guys, I am still circling around, just making sure nothing's creeping up on my backside in the water. Let me walk this way a little bit. Alright, yeah, I do have a machete. Don't know what it's going to do, but it makes me feel better. So one of the easiest way, guys, is to find a low hanging branch and tie off to such a branch. Alright, now because some of these branches are in the water here, we're going to go ahead and remove those, get those out of the way, just to keep it from dangling down and getting our line all caught up. Alright, this will work. Now you can run multiples across the top of this. The easiest way is actually strip this thing all the way down, but because this is just a video, guys, and we're not actually in a survival situation, the easiest thing to do is pull down your branch, tie off. Now I do have some of this bright paracord here. Put my machete back in this tree trunk. Release that. Now, with this paracord, you only want enough to hit the water. From the water down, you're going to hook up your leader and fishing hooks, okay? So, just go ahead and find a nice little spot to tie off on. And I like to keep steel leaders with my fishing equipment, that way I know it's not going to bust. Alright, so this is as far as we want to go, right there, okay? I'm going to go cut that. And I'm going to reel this back in because it's going downriver. Okay. Put this in my pocket. Alright, so now we're at the water. edge right there, okay? So we'll tie off our fishing line and our hook with a sinker. Just a couple feet. All right, you can see how deep this water is. It's about knee high right now. And we could run multiples across this bush. Now what happens is if something hits this and takes the bait, it pulls it down, okay? That's an easy way indicator to tell that something is on your line, because your line is down. You can see that your string is further underwater compared to sitting at the top, and you know you've got something. Now, be careful with this. Gators, especially here in Florida, trout lines are run all over the place out here. Like I said, they're illegal. Now, unless you're fishing for gator or whatever, I'm pretty sure there's something you can get by with. I keep looking over this way, guys. It's for a reason, okay? I am uncomfortable right here near this dark section near the mud bank. That's clay there, but I just can't see what's in there. What happens is you want to catch the fish, and it's been a while since you went and checked your line. So your fish is submerged, he's hung up. All right, usually you won't have a real heavy pull. Just depends on what type of branch you hooked up on. All right, but then when you come check your stuff, you got to pull way down here, because the gator's done come by and ate your fish, and now he's still hooked to it. All right, guys, let me go ahead and unhook this. We'll remove this. All right, guys, so another way to do this. You got that stick, that root coming out of the embankment over there, tying off with a heavy line, running straight out to the other side of the bank and running your line straight down, just like we did with the tree trunk. The tree branch there. We just run our line straight down off of that. And that also works. That way you can go all the way across the river bank. This here, it doesn't have as much give and pull as a branch hanging over the tree, like having a bush. But it does work. It works very well. And you're able to walk away from these, okay? But like I said, each state's different. It is illegal in Florida to be running trout lines. That's why we were just doing this for demonstration. You can use these in a survival situation, all right? All bets are off in survival situation. I don't mind breaking a few laws just to stay alive. Yeah, I'm not walking out there only because I can tell it's above my chest over there. It actually drops off, and there are some down trees there. I do not want to get myself tangled up in there. That current's actually moving pretty quick down that way, so I don't want to see. That current is moving over there. I've actually got the pea gravel from the bed here washing out from underneath my feet while I'm standing here. So we're not going to stay in here much longer. Okay, guys, so you got a shower. Actually, you could go a couple of days without a shower. It's just so freaking hot out here, guys. That creek, I've been waiting to get in that creek. So we weren't eaten by an alligator, thank goodness. As far as fish that may be in there, I didn't see nothing, guys. I didn't see no crawfish. I didn't see nothing up in there. But it doesn't mean that there's not something in there. Anyway, now that I am showered, well, bathed, I'm gonna get back to work. Guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. Now, here at the campsite, of course, I got base camp. So let's go ahead and go over some real quick shelters. Hopefully everyone keeps a tarp. If you don't have a tarp, of course, you can make shelters out of debris. But we do have a tarp with us, so what we're going to do, these are a little bit more exotic looking shelters. We're going to shoot some lines out here, get everything set up, and get that in position, and then we're going to build us a raised bed here. So let's go and get started. Alright guys, so this is our first line. This is going to be our first ridge line. And we will drop it down slightly and drop it down in the back. That way it does create a roof with an angle. Alright, so we got our front and back ridge lines up. These are just to help stabilize the tarp. Once the tarp gets on, then we'll add additional string to help pull it even tighter. Now, as you may have seen, I'm wearing boots and I'm in shorts. It's hot. Yeah, I don't have Snickers. I don't take Snickers out to the woods. So, let's go ahead and get the first part of the tarp hooked up here, draped over, anchored down, and then we'll start working on our raised bed. So as you can see, we've got to raise ourselves off of this ground. There is a slope going in and a slope going out. So all this would fill up with water if it came down raining real hard, but this is a quick emergency shelter. Alright guys, so we've got a raised bed. Now this is raised bed, but it's made like a rope bed, okay? Now unfortunately, I kind of ran out of rope on this. I actually like a little bit more rope on this, but it does work, holds my fat butt. Alright, so some raised beds you see, they run a post down the ground, build it up that way. You can actually stack logs on the end, works just fine. However high you want to go, just stack even more. But I've seen the post ones, they do okay. The best thing for that is to actually your main beam to tie to a tree and then run it that way, especially if you're getting up higher. If you're low to the ground anyway, you just need a couple inches off the ground. This is all you got to do. Alright guys, so like I've said, I have to use a mat. Now what keeps these ropes from collapsing in is that we have sticks going across this way for our main beams that keeps it from collapsing on us. And using a mat makes it so much easier. So you don't have those sticks run right into your back. This is actually quite comfortable. Not quite as nice as a hammock, but it's nice. Actually, it's about time for me to take a break. Alright guys, so I want to point out something right fast. You see my sleeping bag is in there. Do not leave your sleeping bags unrolled and unattended, especially down here in Florida. Alright, you'll have all kind of critters inside your sleeping bag. Make sure you put them back in your compression sacks, whatever, when not in use. Alright guys, so we'll be sleeping in this thing tonight. We do have the base camp still over there. We're supposed to be getting thunderstorms tomorrow, so we will see how well everything does. Of course, this flap does have to pull out and be anchored down. That way it helps with the rain. But for now, because it's so hot, we're opening that up. We're having some issues with our charging capabilities for the GoPro. GoPro is fine. It's just what I'm using to charge with. It just ain't working. As a matter of fact, we're having to use the solar lantern to charge up the cell phones and everything. That battery bank I had with a panel on it is not doing anything. Alright guys, so this is our last night. We did 3 days, 3 nights. Well, am I still wearing the same shirt? Glad you asked. I forgot to pack an extra shirt. I brought extra blue jeans. I brought some shorts. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts with steel-toed boots. It's just how I roll. There was no room in my pack to put flip-flops or sneakers. I don't wear sneakers out in the woods anyway. But so we're wrapping everything up. Tomorrow I'll be breaking down camp, trucking back to my pickup area. Luckily I already texted the wife, let her know I'm going to be here at this time, come get me. So we already had a plan set up before even coming out here. We have been keeping in touch with cell phone, although we only have one bar on our cell phone out here. As you guys may remember from the live stream, I kept getting dropped out. That's why. So, this little bit of freedom is great. Out here, I am king. Now, when I say I'm king, it's just, well, I'm king. I enjoy being outdoors, guys. I'm very lucky to have a wife that I can say, hey, I need a break. I need to go to the woods. And she doesn't have to worry about thinking, oh, is he upset with me? Is there something, did I do something? None of that. She knows I belong in the woods, all right? Just the way it is. Now, out here, this camping trip has been, it's been a rough one. Granted, I've had all the supplies I need. The heat and the humidity here, that has been what's been rough throughout this entire trip. You need a gallon of water a day to survive. I spent most of my camping trip filtering out water and then treating it with chemicals to make sure it's safe to drink most of the day. I probably drank anywhere from 5 to 6 gallons of water a day. It's just that hot down here, and the humidity is just that bad. So if I would have stuck with 1 gallon a day, wouldn't have been doing anything, let alone collecting firewood and stuff like that. But I'm very happy I got to come out here. I've never been in this part of the river before. I've been south of here a good ways many years ago. This is actually nice. I've only heard a couple people, and usually it's in the morning, walking the trails out here. And sound carries out in the woods. All right, I mean, you sneeze, I can hear you 1/4 mile away. It just echoes out here. Maybe not a sneeze. But something to always think about if you've never been camping. I do want to clarify on something that I said. On the live stream, I did say, you know, I find it hard to believe that most people, there's a lot of people that don't know how to start a campfire. Well, I shouldn't be that harsh. There are a lot of people that have never been camping, okay? It's just not one of their things, all right? I'm an outdoors person. I have always went camping. I was taken on camping trips when I was knee-high. So, to me, it's just second nature. But at the same phrase there, same saying, what could be second nature to someone else, a city person, and even that was said wrong too, because there's some country folk that never been camping either. They just live in the country. So I shouldn't stipulate on where you live at as far as how your mentality is. So that was wrong of me. I didn't mean that to come across so harsh. So other than the gear, I packed my food in. We had Mountain House. We had some of the stew packages, ramens, Spam. I also had some powdered eggs that I brought out with me. I keep saying me. Let's see here. I did not catch a single fish. And if I would have caught fish, I would have been eating that instead of the Mountain House and everything else. I did not bring a fishing pole. I was trying some cane fishing and some line fishing. And like I showed on another video, the Trotlines, those work really well in survival situation, but they are illegal to be using down here. So I wasn't using that down here. My gear was way too heavy to carry my crawfish trap. It was just too heavy. It really was. So I believe I need to work on shrinking down my pack. And I hate to say that because I've got a lot of really good stuff that I like to use out in the woods. The fact is, I packed my pack like I used to pack it before I got hurt, before I gained weight, and before I got out of shape. I mean, besides the weight and being injured, I haven't been eating that well. I mean, sure I eat, but sitting down and eating a dozen donuts is not a good thing to be doing. So I haven't started weight training, okay? Most of my stuff has been cardiovascular, which I know I've got to work on. So we've been working on that. I do want to get back into weight training. No, and of course, I won't be no Schwarzenegger. Just no way. But I do need to get back in shape. One of my favorite YouTubers to watch is Canadian Prepper. Some people don't like him, other people love him. I actually love him. I love his content. He seems like a great dude. He actually has videos where he does his workouts and things like that. And yeah, I am trying my best to start following those. Will I go to a gym? Probably not, because technically I'm unemployed right now. So spending extra money on the gym is probably not a good idea. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the camping trip. Hopefully there was a couple little ideas there that y'all were able to pick up on. More than likely, most of y'all already know this stuff, so this is like just hanging out with me camping. But spam is calling my name. I'm gonna let this die down just a little bit, and I already got a great coal bed. I'm just burning up some extra wood, cleaning up the campsite here. We're frying up some spam tonight. I did have spam earlier today, which is awesome. Alright, so according to NOAA Radio, yes, I do have my ham with us. We got a thunderstorm coming in today, which sucks. Luckily, I should be out of this area anyway, further down the trail, awaiting pickup before that storm comes through. Alright, next thing, my solar bank, it did not work, okay? Now this thing here, when it was fully charged ahead of time, being plugged in, charged up the cell phone, charged up the GoPro, no problem. The issue I have is that the solar panel is not charging, and I've got a bump about center of this thing. So I think the battery is actually bad in this. So we will be replacing this at a later date. There's no sense in keeping busted equipment. I'm probably gonna go check out my buddy Ryan, his webpage. I know he's got some of those solar films and things like that for backpacks. I will be checking that out, because having a lightweight solar film, I'll be honest, having to have a cell phone, having to run cameras, I needed solar power. I did. Now I've got a 13-watt solar panel briefcase at the house, but the weight of that thing, I didn't want to truck out here. Kind of wish I would have, but because the weight is the reason I didn't. So anyway, guys, I am going to finish this cup of coffee. It is 9:35 in the AM. Yeah, overslept. I got to be out of here, packed up by noon. That gives me a 3-hour window to get back to my pickup spot. So I got to break down camp and everything, guys. I got to go back and clean camp. I really like this place. I really do. I don't know, maybe when it cools down, maybe we can do some type of subscriber camp out, you know, with me. I know there's a lot of y'all that are in the area. I know there's a lot of y'all that, you know, outside the area don't mind traveling in. Maybe we could do something like that. Don't hold me directly to that. Maybe we can, but maybe we could work into something like that. I think it would be cool. We got a lot of subscribers that are in close to me, actually. So having some type of camp out, retreat, something. I don't know. I don't know what you'd call it. What would y'all call it? Basically a winter, just to come camp out with me. But let's make sure we get the stipulation right. If I am the only one camping out with this individual, that individual has to be male. I'm a married man. The optics do not look good if a woman was to win and CFP and a woman comes out here and start camping. Mrs. CFP will make sure she kills CFP when he got home. That's if she didn't come trucking through the woods anyway. So that would be the stipulation. It has to be a guy. Now, my wife wants to come out here in the fall and camp out. She said it's too hot here. It is. It's way too hot. That might be an option too. The wife and I come out here, maybe a subscriber winner gets to camp out with the two of us. Now that could be male or female then. That won't be an issue. It's not that my wife thinks I'm running around or anything like that. My wife trusts me. But I'm not going to sit there and put my marriage and her trust in that type of situation, if that makes any sense. I remember watching a video of Canadian Prepper. He got to do a dual collaboration video, camp outs with Survival Lily. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing in the world. I love both their channels. That would be cool to actually get to meet one of those two, go on a camping trip. I'm showing the wife. She says, well, yeah, that's nice. She said, but remember how you said you tried to get on Naked and Afraid? I said, yeah, they turned me down. She said, yeah, you know, you have to cuddle up to some woman. I'll make sure you're dead. Now, in defense, Canadian Prepper and Survival, there was nothing going on there. They're very professional with their camp out. They had their own shelters and everything. But because it just wouldn't look right if CFP had a woman out in the woods other than his wife. Anyway, guys, I am exhausted. I feel good, though. This has been a great vacation. The reason I'm exhausted is because it took me a day to heal up from walking in. Just didn't get very good sleep on the knots and stuff. But I was able to test out all the gear and find out what I need to change. Some of that gear is based off of when I was 18, 22 years old, young, dumb, and 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Now I'm starting to slow down. Things are starting to hurt. So now we get to see what gear needs to be modified. So it's all right. It's a very good learning experience for sure. All right, guys. I'm fixing to break down camp. I'll talk to y'all later.